Hello everyone, I have just filled up this sketchbook that I brought with me to Taiwan and Vietnam recently. So today I'm going to show you the sketches that I have drawn. So here you see there are some stickers that I bought while I was in Nam Tho County in the city of Taichung, which is in Taiwan. So nowadays I like to buy stickers if I see them to stick on my sketchbook because I think they look very nice. And this is I thought this was a car sticker, but it's actually not. So it's just a transparent sticker with the logo for the Nam Tho Sketcher Tour, which was in September. And here I have this Urban Sketches Suwon sticker. I think making stickers is a very smart move because you can, unlike name cards, it's more difficult to display them because you can just peel off the sticker and stick it on your sketchbook straight away. So these are the things that I have brought with me. I pack very light. So usually for such big sketching events, the international sketching events, I would bring along my computer and extra microphones just to work on the videos while I was there. This is the first sketch that I sketched while I was in Taichung before I went to Nam Tho County. So this is a very typical city street scene in Taichung and also in Taipei. This is also in Taichung, drawn just before meeting up with my friends to take the bus to Nam Tho. All these were drawn with pen and ink and watercolor. So this is the paper dome located in Nam Tho County. It's not a very good sketch because this building is actually quite complicated. It has a lot of vertical doors and I got the proportion wrong. So now it looks a bit difficult to see what this building looks like. This was drawn at Xingjing Farm, a sheep farm. So at this farm there are a lot of sheep and they would roam around with us on the footpaths. So these are the sketches, sketching from on top of a small hill. And we had to trek and walk all the way down to the market and back to the meeting location. The scenery in Nam Tho in Taiwan, it's really very beautiful. So you can travel outside into the rural areas, into the mountainous areas, and you would have lots of landscapes to sketch. And if you want to sketch cities, you can travel back to Taichung or Taipei to sketch cities, the tall buildings, the urban structures. And Taiwan is an Asian country, so it has a lot of temples and it has a lot of culture. This is just one of their many temples. This was quite challenging to sketch as well, mainly because of details on the temples. The watercolor brand that I use, it's Daniel Smith, in case you're wondering. And this sketchbook is the Academy sketchbook. It's called Somerset, Somerset. I will review this sketchbook separately in a separate video. So this is the train station, Jiji train station. It's a very old school train station. There's just one floor to it, one story. And these are the different mascots that I found while walking around the area. In Taiwan, they like to use mascots as well, just like in Japan. This is another city. No, I would say this is more of a town. So this is the scene at a town, just drawn from Jiji train station. For this particular sketch, I wanted to keep it simple. So for the colors, I tried to use just the primary colors. And for the secondary colors, just green, purples, and what's the other one? Orange. So just 6 colors and grays and blacks. I try to keep this as simple as possible to keep the colors bright and to keep the contrast, to basically to keep the contrast of the white against the colors more visible, to make it more clear. This is Master Xunzang Memorial Hall. It's a temple, and there are a lot of beautiful trees in this area. I like this sketch. I really enjoyed drawing this sketch, mainly because it was a beautiful day, so there were the light and shadow. It was really beautiful, and sitting in the midst of the tree, under the shade of the canopy, drawing this temple, this beautiful temple, it's really enjoyable. This is, I think, one of the doorways to the temple. Now this was I actually drew this as part of a demonstration, a demo, to the sketchers, to the participants of the Nantou Sketcher Tour. I was told last minute that I had to give a demo, so I basically just talked about urban sketching and how you can draw. Just have fun when you're drawing and don't stress yourself too much. So that was actually my demo. It was very last minute, and this is the very last minute sketch that I drew in under 30 minutes. This is Xiangshan Visitor Center. It's a very beautiful building with a very nice architecture. They have very smooth flowing lines, and there are angular lines to contrast with the flowing lines, and this building is actually very wide. If you watch my travelogue videos, you can see the buildings. I'll put the links to my travelogue videos in the video description below. I wanted to tackle this scene because I want to challenge myself by drawing the curves and the angular lines and the doorways, the arches. Basically, challenge myself to get the perspective. And there's a mascot here. This mascot is called Old Bear. Let's see where it is. Oh, I actually did not write down the name. Anyway, the mascot is Old Bear. I think it's a sun bear, one of the animals you can find in Taiwan. This is the Sun Moon Lake, and this is a very famous lake in Nantou County, and around the lake there will be a lot of hotels, so you can stay at the hotels to get a good view of the lake. And you can also ride the boats on the lake to cross from one side to the other side, which was what we did. And you can also cycle around the lake. There are a lot of bicycle rental shops around. So one good way to see this lake, to really appreciate the beauty, is to ride a bicycle, slow down and enjoy nature. So the first half of this sketchbook, it was filled with sketches from Nantou County in Taiwan. The second half is filled with sketches that I drew while I was in Hanoi for the Asia Link Sketch Walk. So this is the place where the opening was held. This is the Hanoi University of Pharmacy. It's a very beautiful university. The building is it has a lot of character, and there is this car park here right in the middle of the university with all the cars blocking my view. But I think adding things like cars, like people in your scene, it would make the sketch look more lively. If it's just a drawing of the university, it may seem like it's a bit, I'm not sure, a bit dead. So with cars and people, it tells the person who's looking at your sketch that there is life here. This was drawn on the following day in the morning while it was raining outside, so that's actually a good chance for me, a good opportunity for me to draw the city of Hanoi from the top of my hotel, which is on the 9th floor. So this sketch took me about 2 hours to sketch, 1 hour for the pen and ink and another hour for coloring. I was just standing there at the staircase where there is a big window and just looking out at this scene. I will provide some reference photos for those who are interested in those who are interested to challenge yourself when it comes to drawing complicated scenes like this. You can download the reference photo in the video description below. This is a very typical Hanoi street scene. You can tell that it's Hanoi because of the messy power lines that are hanging everywhere throughout the city, and the buildings, they are built rather haphazardly. There's no order other than the buildings are built along the street, but they are stacked up like Lego blocks, and sometimes there really isn't any order, so it can be a bit messy, but that's Hanoi for you. This is the Opera House of Hanoi. I forgot to write down the name of this building and the date, but this is probably my favorite sketch that I drew in this whole book, mainly because of the colors that I use here. I use a limited color palette of New Gamboge, French Ultramarine, and Quinacridone Red, and a little bit of burnt sienna to help me get the grays very quickly. I think I managed to capture the perspective of this building rather well. The sun was coming from this way and the shadow is on the left side, and this is a very beautiful building. The architectural style is from French, so this was built by the French colonial government many decades ago. And this street here, it's a very busy street, so I tried to draw some cars in, but I left out the motorbikes because those were a bit challenging to draw. But if you draw more motorbikes, it will make the scene look even more lively. Here I tried to draw a bit more of the bikes, but again, they are very challenging, mostly because many of them are moving, they are not stationary. For the stationary ones, they are easier to sketch, but for the moving ones, they are moving quite fast, so you have to really look at the motorbike and the rider, sort of try and remember how it looks like and quickly draw. This is the city gate, the Chuan Chong city gate in Hanoi. It's a very old city gate, probably a few hundred years old. So all the buildings around, they were built around the city gate, and as you can see, the buildings really is a bit messy, but this is very typical Hanoi. I sketched this while I only had 30 minutes, so after the 30 minutes, someone came over to tell me that we are going to take some group photo again, so I had to stop the sketch as it is. I'll probably color this in black and white. I do have the reference photo for this though, so I may actually just color this in black and white or maybe with colors. I haven't decided yet. Another typical Hanoi street scene. Again, I forgot to write down the name of this street. This was drawn beside the biggest market. What's it called? Dongxuan Market. So Dongxuan Market is over here. I drew Dongxuan Market a few years ago while I was in Hanoi, so I decided not to draw it again. Instead, I wanted to draw the buildings on the left side. There's this perspective that is going on to the vanishing point around here. I'm not sure if you can see it. I actually kind of like this sketch. This is Kim Gan Communal House. For the leaves, instead of drawing the leaves with pen and ink, this time around I decided to just leave the leaves, don't draw them, and then paint the leaves with the watercolor brush. And for the black here, it's French ultramarine. For the darker areas, it's a mix of phthalo blue and permanent brown. I kind of like this sketch as well. This is the Cathedral of St. Joseph. I forgot to write the name again. I need to go back and write the names and the dates of all these for all these drawings. This is a very beautiful cathedral, and it's very crowded. There are a lot of shops on the side selling drinks and snacks. And I remember seeing a wedding couple who was there taking photos. Yeah, it's a very beautiful cathedral. This is the last sketch that I drew while I was in Hanoi. This is the Temple of the Jade Mountain, and through this doorway you will see the very famous Red Bridge, which I didn't sketch this time. By the way, if you want to check out my earlier Hanoi sketches, I'll put the link to that sketchbook tour. You can find a link to the sketchbook tour in the video description below. So for this particular sketch, I wanted to draw as many people as possible because this place, it was really crowded that morning. And for the leaves, again, I didn't draw the leaves. I just painted using the watercolor brush, which I think worked out quite well. Even for the leaves here, I didn't draw the leaves. Usually I would draw the outlines for the leaves, but I didn't do it this time, which is nice. I wanted to try something different, and it does look different and it works quite well. So I may continue to use this style in the future. Actually, the person who inspired me was, I think, Ku Chengjin, who was actually painting trees with water dripping from his brush. So yeah, I got inspired to also try something different. So for this 2 blank pages, I'm going to use them to review this sketchbook to let you see how watercolor actually performs on this paper. This paper is the, let's see what paper this is. Saunders Waterford, if I'm reading this imprint correctly. Alright, so that's it for this sketchbook tour. Do check out the links in the video description below. There are links to the travel logs that I have created in Nam Tho County and also in Hanoi. And also there is the link to the sketchbook tour for all the previous sketches that I have drawn in Hanoi. So do check out those videos. Thanks for watching. See you in the next video. Bye.